It's Mother's Day. And before we go any further, we want to treat some of you mothers to something sweet. So if you will pull out your bulletins, and you mamas, if you will look around through your bulletin, and if you have a Sweet Frog sticker on there, and if you pulled your bulletin out and you say, I'm not a mom and I got a Sweet Frog sticker on my bulletin, then you may want to just look around real quick and find a mama close to you that doesn't have one, and you might want to swap bulletins with them, because if you ain't a mama, you ain't getting anything today. So if you're a mama and you found a Sweet Frogs sticker on your bulletin, why don't you come up here real quick? Just come line across the front. Oh, yeah, come up here. Come on up here. Sure. Come on up. Get in the...
What do you mean about the light?
Yeah, come on up. Go, stand right here. See, you guys don't have what it takes to be in ministry, do you?
No.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Either there's someone in children's ministry with one, or one of you guys are holding out and you're just so mad because you're not a mommy. It's just like, I'm not giving this to anybody. We just want to bless you all with a little Sweet Frogs treat. And this is just enough on it for you. Trust me, it's $5. So, so do not take your family. Do not take your family. This is for you. And one for me. Thank you, guys. Give them a hand. You're welcome. And we'll find out who had this one, hopefully, if someone on the way out, a mama, says, why did I have that sticker on my bulletin? If not, I guess tomorrow I will take a break and go to Sweet Frogs. It's a special day, and I appreciate you being here. I know we have a lot of people who travel on Mother's Day, and they go and they see their mamas, and we have lots of, surprisingly, families who decide on Mother's Day they're going to treat themselves by going nowhere and doing anything, which I don't think is a good idea at all, because there's no place that a mama can come and get treated special like at church on Mother's Day and receive some special challenges also that will have a ripple effect into the whole family. There's so many mamas in the Bible that we could talk about today, but I want to talk about a mama that I don't think people normally talk about on Mother's Day in the Bible. She's a reasonably famous mama. Her son, very famous, and for some reason, people that don't understand the whole story don't brag on this mama the way I'm going to brag on her today. Let's look at this story found in Genesis 27. It's the story of Jacob when he was a young man and his mama, Rebekah. When Isaac, Jacob's father, was old and his eyes were so weak that he could no longer see, he called for Esau, who was the firstborn of the twins, Esau and Jacob, the one who rightfully should have the birthright. He called Esau, his older son, and said to him, "My son, here I am," he answered. And Isaac said, "I am now an old man and don't know the day of my death. Now then, get your weapons, your quiver and bow, and go out to the open country to hunt some wild game for me. And prepare me the kind of tasty food I like, and bring it to me to eat, so that I may give you my blessing before I die." Now Rebekah was listening to Isaac and speaking to his son Esau. And when Esau left to the open country to hunt game and bring it back, Rebekah said to her son Jacob, "Look, I overheard your father say to your brother Esau, 'Bring me some game and prepare me some tasty food to eat, so that I may give you my blessing in the presence of the Lord before I die.' Now, my son, listen carefully and do what I tell you. Go out to the flock and bring me 2 choice young goats, so I can prepare some tasty food for your father, just the way he likes it. Then take it to your father to eat, so that he may give you his blessing before he dies." Jacob said to Rebekah, his mother, "But my brother Esau is a hairy man, and I'm a man with smooth skin," a little baby face. "What if my father touches me? I would appear to be tricking him and would bring down a curse on myself rather than a blessing." His mother said to him, "My son, let the curse fall on me. Just do what I say. Go and get them for me." Isn't that a mama? Just Just do what I tell you to do. So he went and got them and brought them to his mother, and she prepared some tasty food just the way his father liked it. Then Rebekah took the best clothes of Esau, her older son, which she had in the house, and put them on her younger son, Jacob. She also covered his hands and the smooth part of his neck with the goat skins. Then she handed to her son Jacob the tasty food and the bread she had made. And let me just tell you the rest of the story. So, everyone here knows the story of Jacob and Esau. They're born twins. Esau comes first. Jacob comes out holding on to his brother's heel. And we talk about these two all the time because Esau represents the person who really isn't that interested in his birthright. And Jacob is very interested in his birthright. He comes out fighting, wrestling for his birthright out of the mother's womb. And so Esau comes home from hunting one day, and he's very, very hungry. And Jacob is cooking some lentil soup. And Esau smells it, and he says, I am so hungry. I'm about to die here. I want some of that soup. And Jacob, hungry for his birthright, which is supposed to be spiritually indicative of you and I. He says, I'll trade you a bowl of soup for your birthright. Esau says, well, what good is a birthright if I die? He honestly thinks he's going to die of starvation. And so he trades his brother Jacob his birthright for a bowl of lentil soup. And so technically and legally, from that day forward, Jacob now owned the birthright. It seems like everybody in the household knew it except for Father Isaac, which is the one who needed to know it, because at some point before he would die, he would call his sons and he would bless them. And the choice blessing would go to the oldest son, which should have been Esau, and the blessing would secure the birthright, the inheritance. Esau would get 2/3 of the inheritance, Jacob only 1/3. And so not only would Esau get more land and more of the herds, he would become the official family patriarch, and his brother would have to answer to him just like they had been answering to Isaac. Trouble is, Isaac does not know about this little exchange, and of course, Esau does not want his father to know because he knows Isaac would be very, very, very upset if he traded away the most precious thing God could ever entrust to a human being, their birthright, for a stinking bowl of soup. And so Isaac didn't know. But Mama knew. Mama knew what was really going on. It's funny how mamas seem to know what's going on when nobody else knows what's going on. And it seems like nothing has changed under the sun, that there's many, many things that goes on within the household that Mama knows all about concerning the children that Papa often does not know about. Dads are often in the dark about things going on at school, things going on in the personal life of the children. Moms are right there. They're not just the nurse physically, they're the nurse emotionally. They're usually the one helping with homework and talking to their kids about the problems they're going through at school. There's all kinds of things that mamas deal with their children that dads are just oblivious to. Definitely was the case in this family. Isaac is old now. He knows he's ready to die. And he calls for Esau to fix him his last favorite meal. He loved wild game, and he knew that Esau couldn't just kill it. He knew how to cook it the way he liked it. He said, son, go kill me my favorite meal and prepare it for me. Bring it to me, and then I'm going to give you your blessing, which will secure your birthright. Mama hears, and sometimes we can get the impression that there's a real favoritism going on between this mother and this father with these two children. We don't really know what was going on. We don't know if Isaac truly loved Esau more than Jacob, and if Rebekah truly loved Jacob more than Esau. We can say that, but we don't really know what's going on there. What we do know is that there's a mother who knows exactly what is going on. She knows all the details, and she's going to make sure that this thing plays out the way that it fairly and justly should at this point. I don't think she loved Jacob more than she loved Esau. But I think she knew what happened, and now that Jacob legally, officially, even in God's eyes, owned that birthright, and she was going to make sure that her child got what was coming to him. It is a mother that looks into the life of a child, doesn't just see the now, but sees the future, the potential, the possibilities. And the mother will now do everything in her power to make sure that child gets what was planted in that child even at birth. And we will call that today the birthright. The right to be certain things. The right to become certain things. Skill sets and abilities and potential. Things that can guarantee that if this child is directed in the right way, this child has an incredible future. Dads don't always see it. Nobody else really sees it that much. But mamas almost always see it. And this mother, Rebecca, was going to make sure that her son got his birthright that he legally owned now. And so now we look at this scenario and we would think, look at them, they're being deceitful and they're scheming and they're tricking this old man. And what kind of woman would trick her husband on his deathbed? And I'll tell you what kind of woman. A mother that isn't looking at it the same way other people would look at it. Mamas often look at the situations going on in their child's life different than everybody else on the planet. How many of you mothers know what I'm talking about? You mothers see your children different than anybody else sees them. We see just the good or we see just the bad. We see in part. And we judge each other's children based on what we see. But mamas know their children, and she knew what was going on here. And so she comes to Jacob and she says, son, listen to me. Here's what I need you to do. I need you to go out and get a ram or a lamb or a goat, whatever. I need you to kill this thing and bring me the meat because I'm going to fix it the way your father. And because we're going to get this blessing because you own the blessing because you own the birthright. And so Jacob begins to squabble with her and argue with her. Kind of weird, isn't it? Because today we never see children do that. It just seems like that now children are so compliant and they never argue with their mamas. And I'd love to just tear this apart and look at the literal language because it probably says something like this when he says, but this, but, and she probably says, shut it! Just go do what I told you to do. How many of you mamas say you say that at least 3 times a day to your children? At least. Just stop talking and go do what I told you to do. It's reminiscent of the story we've told several times through the years on Mother's Day of Mary. And Jesus is a 30-year-old man now, and it proves the influence that a mother can have in a child's life if she will activate that connection at an early age. Even when that child is an adult, that mother still has so much power. And they're at a wedding, and they've run out of wine, and Mary is very close to the family, or they would not be there. And she's very worried and concerned that the host is going to be embarrassed because they have run out of wine at the wedding. That's a major faux pas in Hebrew culture. And so Mary comes to Jesus, says, son, here's the situation, here's the problem, and you can do something about this. We need you to fix this. And he starts, well, it's not my time, and I'm not ready for this. Standard kid, well, I'm just not quite ready yet, and I don't want to, and I'm not in the mood, and I just don't know about this. And Mary's like, and she just turns to everyone and says, do what he tells you to do. You're doing this, by the way. Do what he tells you to do because he is doing this. Jesus, the Son of God, says, I'm not doing it. And Mama says, oh yeah, you're doing it. He said, it's not time. I'm not ready. I can't do this. I'm not sure what's going on here. Standard classic child, even as an adult. Mary says, you're my son. I know you. I've been watching you. I know your potential. I know what you can do better than you know. You are doing this. Isn't it interesting that Jesus' official ministry as the Messiah of creation is launched that day? Not because he wanted to, because Mama said, you are doing this. I love the stories of the Bible. And Because it's Hebrew culture, men seem to be the ones in the spotlight getting all the glory. But behind the scene are these strong women. And they're not trying to be strong in all these other roles. They're just being really, really strong in this one role of being a mother. Now, generation after generation is evolving. And you think it's all these great prophets and apostles. No, it's these mamas. It's these mamas. Rebecca said, son, just stop arguing with me and go do what I told you to do. I know you don't understand the big picture here. I do. Do it. He does it, and she fixes him up. I'm just having flashbacks. You know, just a couple weeks ago, and my wife was working with my daughter for a birthday party that was going to be 50s style with the poodle skirts and all that, and so she's working with her, and she's making things work, and she's got Amber Lee over there, and they've got the sewing machine out, and we're trying to get this thing going, and my wife is such a good sport. She got dressed up with her for this birthday party, and I'm going, oh, I'm not doing this. Then she lays out clothes for me to wear. It's like, I'm not doing this. And she's like, shh. She's telling Hannah, just put it on. She's looking at me saying, just put it on. We had a great time. But I'm having flashbacks now as I'm seeing Rebecca with her son dressing him in goat hair. How many of you mamas could write books about the different scenarios you've been with your kids, dressing them up, fixing them up, trying to get them ready for something really important, dance recitals, music recitals, school plays, VBS, it goes on and on and on. Mamas are always there trying to fix up their kids, getting them ready for something big, and the child doesn't even understand how big that thing is yet. So the long story short is that Jacob goes to his father, and Isaac says, Esau, is that you? And yeah, there's a little bit of lying going on there. He said, yes, father, it's me, your son Esau. Yeah, that's the ticket. And this old dude must have been really senile. He starts rubbing his arm. I mean, do you know how hairy Esau must have been? That Isaac can't tell the difference between goat skin and his own son's arm? And I'm thinking Esau, it's like this dude, he not only has lost his birthright, he's about to lose his blessing. This dude ain't even going to get a wife, probably. He's going to have to do some major manscaping, I'm thinking. So Isaac is deceived, and he pronounces this incredible blessing upon the life of his son Jacob. He says, oh, you're going to rule and reign, and your brother's going to bow down to you. Oh, this is going to be awesome, and you're going to prosper under the heavens and in the earth, and anyone who blesses you is going to be blessed, and anyone who curses you is going to be cursed. It's like, man, you are going to be in high cotton. He gets the blessing that will now officially kickstart his birthright. He has now entered into a realm of incredible blessing, a realm of entering into a realm of life beyond what he's ever known. And I want you to know, it isn't because of Isaac. It's because of his mama. His mama made it all happen. Isaac's laying there, just senile as the day is long, doesn't know a goat from his own son. Mama's the one, and I'm not saying that's representative of you guys at all, but in some situations it comes close, doesn't it? We just really don't always know what's going on in the family. Mama made it happen. Mama made it happen. We've got to see the essence of this story. Jacob coming from the lineage of great men, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, but it would be Jacob that would become Israel. It would be Jacob who would have 12 sons who would become the 12 tribes of Israel and launch the whole nation of Israel. Jacob would be the elect. And Jacob would be the patriarch of the tribes. Jacob's birthright, his future, Jacob, his destiny, his purpose was incredible. And all of it hinged on one thing. What's Mama going to do? We look at great men and we never think about the fact that this would have never happened if not for the people behind the scenes. Interesting in history how often it's the mama back there, because the dad's out here doing all these great, incredible things himself, and mama's at home. And often in history, in most cultures, mama was not elevated as high as dad was, and so mama's got one primary chore: keep the house going and do something with these young'uns. Mamas get personally, intimately involved with their children. They have conversations with their kids. They watch their kids grow up, and they see the potential. They see the possibilities. My mom, when I was very young, began to see things in my life I could not see. I'm going to brag on my mom because she's here today. We almost didn't get her here. She's just been riding too many cars, too many hours getting from Boston to here, and she couldn't hardly walk. But I decided if I had to put her on my back and carry her here today, we're going to get her here. She won't want me to tell you this, but she's 90-something years old, and we always squabble about the numbers. Is 93 right? Is that close enough? Or because it seems like it's been 92 for about the last 6 years. I'm only doing this because she's not walking very well, and I know she can't catch me right now. But my mom saw things in my life when I was very, very young. And you guys know the connection I had with my dad is very, very, very much loved my dad. My dad was the classic dad back in those days when I was a kid. He was just always at work, just always at work. Always at work. My mom was the one that was there, and she saw the development of her children, and she saw the things in us that nobody else could see. We could not see it ourselves. I was a very, very young kid when my mama started saying things to me like, Scotty, there's a call of God on your life. And I got a little older, and she said, God has called you to preach. God has called you to be in ministry. And so I'm like, all right, I don't have a clue what you're saying, but all right. When I finally figured out what it all meant, then I became very rebellious about it, because it's like, oh no, this is what you're talking about? No. God had already showed me I was going to be a rock star, and God could not be wrong about that. My mom was the one when I was very young and around 12 years of age, and there was a Christmas play, and we were just very close to that church and to the pastor there, and he was a very gifted man, and I really admired him, and I think my mom saw me admiring him play the piano and singing and doing all the things he was doing, and when he made it known, we're going to put together this children's Christmas program, and I'm going to need some kids to sing some songs, and I'm just like, yeah, whatever, you guys have a blast. I'll be back here in the kids' choir on the back row, and it's my mom who says, Scotty, by the way, I told the pastor that you'd be glad to sing one of those songs. It's like, what? See, I've told you guys before, but you can't get it because you've only known me like this. You have no idea how shy and insecure I was all through my childhood. And there was no reason for it. It wasn't because I was treated bad, I was treated lesser, it wasn't bad, anything going on in my life. It was a natural disposition somehow I was born with. I was very shy, had major, major, major low self-esteem for no reason. And I didn't like to be seen. I wanted to be in the shadows. My mom went and told the pastor, Scotty will sing one of those songs. And so he says, oh, great, I want you to sing What Child Is This? So it's my first time on a stage and a Christmas play and holding the microphone and singing, What child is this? And I'm going, yes, what child is this? What child is this to be standing here trying to torture you people with my voice? My mom said, just do it. I argued, said, you're doing it. Just do it. Just go do it. I didn't want to do it. It would be years later that we had this family, and please keep some of this stuff under your hat. We had a family quartet. I'm telling you, people look at me and go, I bet you feel bad some of that music you used to play when you were younger. You have no idea. Yes, I used to sing Southern gospel. Very embarrassed about it. The heavy metal stuff, God loved that. Jesus is a headbanger. Did he not say he was the rock? I'm the rock, baby! Come on. And so, I didn't want to. My older brother, Gilbert, was the one with all the music talent, and he had this bass voice, and whoa, it's just like, he was always in the choirs and stuff at school, and everyone was, oh, he's awesome, and it's like, yeah, and just go let him be awesome. I was not jealous. I had no younger brother syndromes going on any level whatsoever. I was just like, yeah, you get out there, you do your thing, it's good, you're awesome, but y'all just leave me alone. And so we bought a PA system, and there's not enough mics to go around, and that worked really well for me, because I could just stand there and I could Milli Vanilli it, man. Just like, I don't have to really even sing here. And my mom caught on to what was going on, and Radio Shack had opened up. And she saved her egg money, literally, went to Radio Shack and bought an extra microphone for me so that I could stick it in my mouth and be heard. It's like, no. She said, you need to get out there and sing. You need to open your mouth. It's like, well, I don't want to. Just do it. Do it. I watched our pastor play the piano, and he was such an incredible piano player in ways that I cannot even relate to. And he just made it look so easy that I thought, well, I bet you I can do that, because it didn't look hard when he did it. So my mom said, yeah, you'd like to play like that, wouldn't you? And it's like, yeah. It's like if I were to ask you today, how many of you guys would like to be able to play the piano? Seriously, could I see your hand? How many of y'all took lessons? So you didn't really want to play, did you? So when my mom said, yeah, you'd like to play, it's like, well, sure I would. Well, then we're going to start you lessons. It's like, oh, no, I don't want to take lessons. I just want to play. It's like Hannah with the violin, you know. It's like, got her little purple violin. She's all stoked and everything. Then she goes for her first lesson, and she's coming home. It's like, all right, get in there and practice. And she's squeaking, man. Every stinking cat in the neighborhood is sitting outside the window squalling. And I'm telling you, I just have to put earplugs in on some days. And she's squeaking on that thing, and then she's getting upset, and she's getting impatient. It's like, oh, I don't want to do this. Well, do you want to play the violin or not? And she says, yes. Yes, I want to play, Daddy. But she was also saying the same thing I was saying. I just don't want to practice. So my mom got me started on piano lessons, and it didn't take long before I realized this. And what the pastor was playing, I assumed, okay, we're going to start here on this song, right? I didn't understand it was, here we go up a road to a birthday party. John Thompson, man, I didn't know I was going to be in John Thompson books for the first 8 years of piano lessons. 8 years of piano lessons, I still couldn't play hardly anything. And all I really wanted to play was rock and roll at that point. It's like, John Thompson is not helping me rock. And so I didn't want to practice. So I was going to my sister's house, getting off the bus there, practicing, and then walking home after school. And I just, man, I was griping and complaining. I was driving everybody crazy. So I come home one day, and there's a piano sitting in our living room. It's like, what's this? And my mom said, well, I see how convenient that is for you to go to your sister's and practice. So we've got a piano here, so now see, it's going to be much easier for you. It's like, you don't get it. You're really not getting this. I don't want to practice. And it's like an hour practice every day, 1 full hour practice every day as soon as I got off the bus, before doing chores. I even didn't care about doing the chores. It's like, I will go do double chores. Just let me stop playing this thing. And she's like, Scotty, get in there. And then I'd fart around, and she had this head on the piano that she had made at some pottery thing, and she just thought that thing was great. I never understood the interest myself. But I thought, I'll get her. And so one day I'm just banging on the piano, and that thing's getting closer to the edge and closer to the edge, and I just bang, 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 and it falls off and it busts. And she comes home, and I just thought, you know what you think. Kids always think, she won't even notice. She won't notice it's missing. She comes in, she walks through the room, it's like, where's the head on my piano? And it's like, how stupid of me to say, I don't have a clue, man. I didn't see. What did it look like again? Where was it say? That head was sitting there staring at me every single day in practice. I think that head somehow became my mom's head. It's like, I'll show you. I won't tell you what happened to me because of that. It doesn't do any good to lie to your mom. Your mom always knows if you're lying. Always. I used to say, Mom, how do you know? And she, you know what she always said? I know none of you moms have ever done this. Mom would always say, Scotty, God shows me things. So I grew up thinking, I can't do anything now. I can have no fun. My mom's going to know everything that happened. So every day, Scotty, it's only been 55 minutes. Finish practicing. Went on and on and on and on. Many years later, graduated high school and went to Concord for a couple years and was really not doing good there at all. I discovered the party life, and my life was just unraveling so fast. And I missed a year in there, and I just says, I don't need school, I don't need this, I don't need that. I want to discover who I am. And my mom's like, no, there's not going to be any of that. I know who you are. I came home one day and she said, Scotty, I've got great news for you. It's like, really what? She said, I just enrolled you in a college in Florida. It's like, you what? She said, yeah, the paperwork's all taken care of. I've been working on it for a long time. And I'm thinking, didn't I need to sign something here? She said, oh, yeah, I took care of that. Didn't want to bother you. I know you're busy partying with your friends, and I didn't want to interrupt you. I'm thinking, this is not happening. I have my life here, my world here, my friends here. I know where I'm the hot commodity at certain clubs. When I walk in, it's like, yeah, let the party begin. It's like, I'm not leaving my world. And she said, yeah, you're leaving on this date because your first day of classes is on this date. I had this Jeep CJ7 with 12 inches of lift under it, 40-inch Monster Mutter tires. It was wicked. And I'm thinking, okay, I can't drive this 1,000 miles away to school, clearly. And she said, yeah, we're going to take care of that too. We're going to buy you a car that you can travel in. And then she said, and we'll hold on to your Jeep for you. Yeah, I wasn't at school 30 days and that Jeep was sold. And I'm thinking once again, didn't I need to sign that title somewhere? So she packed my bags, and she put them in the car, and she said, it's time to go. And I don't cry. I cried a lot as a kid, they tell me. I don't know. Since I became an adult, I don't know what happened. I hardly ever cry. Whenever you see me cry, you either know the presence of God is just really tearing me up, or I'm in a situation where I've been so emotionally moved. And I started crying like a little girl because I was being emotionally moved. I don't think it was the presence of God. And she says, you're going. It's like, I don't want to go. You need to understand, that's 20 years old. I said, you're going. 21 years old. I don't know how old I was. I was a man. I wasn't 30 like Jesus, but my mama thinks she's married. It's like, you're doing this? I said, it's not time. I'm not ready. Maybe next year. She said, you're going. So I got in the car and I went. And I was scared and I was upset and I wasn't happy and I wasn't thinking about it's Florida. There's beaches close by and you think, oh, everybody wants to go to school in Florida when they're young. It's like, no, I didn't. I didn't want to go anywhere. Many, many, many years removed from all that scenery now. My life is what it is. And my journey has been what it is. My birthright has been the coming together. It has been the fulfillment of staying the course, playing the piano, singing. Yes, being forced down a road to pursue a call of ministry that I could not see. Today, I am exactly who my mom saw I could be, and she made it happen when I did not want to make it happen, was not interested in it happening. I would be living under this bridge down here probably. And I think about then the ripple effect of all that. I go off to school, and there, in that place where I'm separated from my friends and my environment, God has a chance to speak to me where I can hear, and He begins to work on my heart, and He begins to draw me back to Him, because I was a big-time prodigal. And He draws me back to Him in a place, and that would have never happened here. I run into this cute little blonde on the corner of a sidewalk one day, and the next day, coincidentally, she has a flat tire, and someone needs to go help her. And I fall in love, and I marry her. And I've spent 30 years, going on 31 years with her. And I think, if my mom wouldn't have done this wouldn't have happened. And then I keep chasing that thing, and if you and I wouldn't have happened, Hannah wouldn't have happened. And if you and I wouldn't have happened, and if that all wouldn't have happened, this wouldn't have happened. I want y'all to know we're here today as a church family, not because of this person, but because of that person right back there. My birthright was to be a piano player. I'm not a great piano player, but I am a person who loves playing the piano. And I've never loved playing music in my life more than I am right now. I love it. You don't have to be great at something to love it. You need to learn that lesson, by the way. I've never enjoyed singing more in my whole life. Every time we get a worship leader, something happens, they move away. So I'm going to like, here I got to work, I got to lead worship again. And on one side, it's like, I don't want to do this. I just want to be the pastor. And there's another side of me that said, but you know what? I love singing to God. And I didn't think that I could be a pastor. I didn't think I was qualified on any level to do this. But my mom thought I was qualified, and that seemed to override everything that I thought. Now we look into the venue of the 21st century in America, and we have an issue. Because if you read the back of the bulletin, there's something very monumental that has happened. You need to understand, children have not changed. We keep saying, kids are so different today. No, I would have sat in front of a TV. Man, when color TV come out, Lord have mercy. And when we turned the antenna just right, we could get 2.5 channels. I could have sat in front of that TV watching those colored images all day long. She said, get up, put your shoes on. If you want to wear shoes, if you don't, whatever, just get out. Just get out. Go play. Go play. Well, I don't want what to play with. Use your imagination. Because my mom said 1,000,000 times, go use your imagination. People say, well, how did y'all know how to design this building and decorate this and do that and build that and fix this and that? Because my mom said, go use your imagination, and we learned how to do things. Besides, kids haven't changed. They're children. Give the kid a choice. The kid will play video games all day long, stare at a TV or an iPad all day long. They will not have any social skills. They will not have any fundamental skills of how to fix things, how to do things, how to reason things out, how to problem solve. They won't know how to do anything but play games and watch TV. Kids have not changed. Kids have always been that way. And now, mamas, I love you, but here's the ouch part. What has changed? Moms have changed. Moms have changed. Because if you're waiting on Dad to step into the center ring and say, you kids, you're going to do this, this, and this, and this, take what you can get and be grateful. But mamas make the world go round. Mamas are there. Mamas know their children. Mamas see the potential, the possibilities. They see skill sets before the child even knows that it's a skill. They see what's innate, what's natural. And mamas, by God-given authority, put their hands on that, and they begin to shape, and they mold, and they encourage. And they say, you're doing this. And when the child says, I don't want to do it, we have too many modern-day mamas that say, well, okay, what do you want to do then? And then you look back at people from my past and go, how terrible it must have been that your mama said, no, you're going to do this. How terrible that your mom and Jesus' mom was. Moms, we've got to get back to the authority that God has given you. The authority that Rebecca operated in. The authority that Mary operated in. The authority that Millie operated in. We know you love your kids. We know you love your kids. Nobody loves a child like a mama. Nobody shows grace like a mama. But we've got to get back to that place where moms look at their kids and say, I love you. I know you like doing this, this, and this. In the meantime, you have a birthright. And God wants you to be blessed with that birthright coming into fruition. And it ain't going to happen with you playing video games. I have no qualms in Hannah whining and crying, trying to control us getting her iPad back. She hasn't had her iPad in about a month except for using it for some homework. Because when she sasses, she loses it. When she does something that she knows she's not supposed to do, she loses it. We're so far up in the calendar when she gets that thing back, I don't even know when it's going to be now. And it's like every day, 2 more days, you just lost your iPad. And she asked me the other day, she said, how long will it be, Daddy? Can you get a calendar and show me when I'm going to get it back? And I said, no, I can't. Because whatever date I show you today, it will have changed before this day is over. I promise you. My daughter, when we push her out and to go outside and play, she does exactly what I did. It doesn't have anything to do with boys and girls. She goes out and she plays with sticks. And she builds things. And she gets some of my tools. And she gets out the chainsaw. And we keep all the tools that can maim out of her reach now. And she builds things. And she says, Daddy, Daddy, come look. I want you to see what I did. And she's all excited. She never hollers at me when she's playing video games and says, Daddy, come watch what I can do. But she goes out and she does something constructive. And she says, Daddy, come look at this. And she's so excited because she saw something she could do. I already knew she could do it. Mama already knew she could do it. She didn't know she could do it, and she will never know that she can do it unless she sees it for herself. Must be an emergency somewhere. Mamas, mamas, mamas. If you're a mother in here today, won't you jump up and come up here with me? Mom, you can stay where you're at. We don't have time to get you up here today. Hey now, a little payback never hurt anybody. When I had no control, she made me do what she wants. Now I'm the man, and she's the little lady, and I'm calling the shots now, not Mama. I'm your pastor. You do what I tell you to do, Mama. If she ever gets within arm's length of one of these ears today, I'm in trouble. Look at this. You wonder why I'm so confident that Cornerstone Family Church is not only in the mode of taking the city, but will fulfill its mission? It's right here. We're a strong man church, by the way. It's very unusual for the Appalachian Mountains. A very, very manly church. And I'd like to think of myself as the ringleader. Don't look at me in that tone of voice. But I'm telling you, man, this is where the grace, the compassion. If you've been here on Wednesday nights, you've been in the Christology class, you understand the power of God is released through one trigger mechanism, compassion. One trigger to the power of God, compassion. There's not a second option. This is why we have been and will see even more the power of God in this place because of this compassion. The ability to walk into rooms where ministry is taking place with complete chaos and instantly begin to organize and turn the dysfunctional to functional because you do it in your homes every single day. The ability to stay the course, because if you weren't going to stay the course, you'd have given up a long time ago. You'd have went to the bathroom when they were big enough to still flush. And you said, that's it. Can't do it anymore. Kerplunk, flush. You didn't do it. You've learned to stay the course. You're strong. You are women of God. And I'm impressed by you. I just want to pray for you. Send you out of here because I know that someone's cooking you a good meal today and taking you to sit outside a restaurant for 3 hours before you get in. Something good's going to happen today. I want you to know we love you guys. This church loves you. We appreciate you. And on behalf of your children, a lot of your kids are older and now suddenly they understand how wise you were the whole time. I understand my mom, she had it together and I thought she was just fruitier than a loop the whole time. It's like crazy. Some of your kids are older and they understand it. They're getting it. They're getting it. They're seeing what you were trying to do. Some of you younger ones, stay the course. There's a reason why the Bible says that the older women need to teach the younger women. Some of y'all are such young mamas and you get tired and you get wore down. It's too easy to say, then go watch TV, go play video games, whatever. And for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 50 hours, they're sitting there. You are the ones that's going to have to say, no, you're doing this. And when they say, well, I don't want it, it's like, you're doing it. I'll ground you. I'll take your games. If that doesn't work, no supper. If that doesn't work, we're going to take all your air away. You're not going to breathe until you... You mamas are very, very, very creative. You'll figure something out that works. I want to pray for you. I thank you for these women, Lord. They're awesome. And this would not be a church and a ministry without them. Your kingdom would not exist without them. You said you're going to build your church, the gates of hell will not prevail. I agree. I agree because I've seen how you've used these powerful women through centuries building your church. You're going to build this church, Cornerstone Family Church, and take it into the realms that we would call our birthright as a church. You've given us a birthright of what we can do to fulfill our purpose and our destiny. It's going to happen because of these ladies. You gave us the tag, building the church through building the family. Here is the root of it all, Lord. These mothers, they are the architects of their family. Today, Lord, encourage them, build them up, give them strength. Let them feel your pat on the back for a job well done. Let them also feel, Lord, where needed, your foot up against their Heineken just a little bit when they need to step it up and just say, you know what, I need to be more stern. I need to be more strict. I need to grab the reins back a little bit. I'm letting my children make too many childish decisions for their life right now. I bless these women today, Lord, in your name. Amen. Ladies, be bold. Be bold. I ate everything but tomatoes because my mom didn't want to see me puke when I ate tomatoes. I eat everything else. You know why? Because my mom said, you're eating it, you're sitting there till the plate's clean. Go make your children eat vegetables.